Another miserable day for Donald Trump in the polls, for his mental condition, for his failing media company. So Donald Trump goes to North Carolina. He speaks in Asheville, in one of the smallest auditoriums that there is. Less than 2,500 people could even fit in the auditorium, where Donald Trump just had his mental breakdown, as I like to call it, a involuntary psychiatric session that we all have to be exposed to. But I watched those speeches, so you don't have to watch the full things. But of course, when Donald Trump arrives in North Carolina and speaks before that teeny tiny crowd, Donald Trump departs from his airplane and he does his normal waving to nobody so that later his campaign can edit in a crowd to act like there are people greeting him. Watch this, play the clip. So then Donald Trump proceeds to send email after email. Now, I read a number of these emails yesterday. He sends emails like every 90 minutes. And he does this like weird love bombing where he sends love letters to his supporters. And then he acts very stalkerish. Not a big surprise coming from Donald Trump, where he's like, please answer now. And then the other types of emails are like the scams. You've won a big prize. And then you click it. It's like, you could win a golden MAGA hat, which isn't like gold. It's like the color gold, but you have to donate right now. So let me just show you some of the deranged ones that I didn't cover yesterday. Here's like the love bombing ones, which is just so weird and cultish. Donald Trump goes, "Can I hang our picture together in Mar-a-Lago? Ben, I want everyone to know." And then he goes, "I've always wanted to meet you, Ben. Ben, can we take a picture together during our all expenses paid trip together? I already have the perfect spot picked out in Mar-a-Lago to show it off." What a strange email to send. What are you even talking about? Donald Trump then sends this one. Kamala copied my MAGA hat. Can you believe it? And then Donald Trump's email goes, "Kamala tried to copy my MAGA hat. Ben, she released a camo hat, but there's nothing like a genuine MAGA camo hat. Limited edition, make America great again. Official camo MAGA hat. My camo MAGA hat is a powerful statement that you stand with Trump in the fight to save America from dangerously liberal Kamala." And then he sends this one, 24 hours until the deadline, exclamation point. Donald Trump says, "Crooked Kamala Harris thinks she's got us on the ropes after stockpiling more than $300 million. Ben, Kamala just called you out. She believes she's crushed your spirit and that you're ready to kneel before her as your new radical left overlord. But she'll never expect what's coming next. You and I teaming up to make my mid-month deadline our biggest fundraising day in history. Stand with Trump." I mean, think about the language that he's using here. How is this even considered a political campaign? He's sending to his supporters that Vice President Kamala Harris is trying to crush your spirits to make her kneel before your new radical left overlord? What in the world are we even talking about here? I want to share this with you. I'm going to do a longer interview in just a little bit with Congressmember Eric Swalwell. So please make sure you keep checking the MeidasTouch YouTube feed, because this interview with Congressman Swalwell is going to be incredible. I have to ask him about this ad that he made. It's so perfect. You know, we've always said here on the MeidasTouch Network that if someone behaved like Donald Trump, they couldn't work at any type of company, a big, middle-sized, small company. They couldn't work at a nonprofit. Heck, I wouldn't want them in my fantasy football league if they behaved like that. I wouldn't want them around me. Could you imagine someone who behaves like this with the arms and lying about AI crowds and whining about people being on Time magazine cover? Look, Donald Trump's replaced the national anthem, "We the People," our national anthem, with the J6th choir song. You know from some of the other reports that I've done, when Donald Trump sends emails, he sells American flags with his name on it. He disgraces we the people, our great and mighty American flag, and he puts Trump on it. He cheapens our flag like he cheapens the buildings that he commits fraud with. Anyway, here is Congressmember Eric Swalwell's new ad. This is Pitch Perfect. Play it.
I love you. Have a great day at school.
Dictator on day one.
There will have to be some form of punishment for women.
Roe vs. Wade was terminated. Fire, fury, bloodbath. Now get in.
You know what, honey? I'm gonna drive you today.
Besides, can convicted felons even drive school buses?
If you wouldn't trust him with your kid, why would you trust him with your country?
So we got to check in with our buddy, J.D. Vance. Look, there's mixed reactions. Some people say, Ben, when you call him Shady Vance, I cringe, people say. That's cringy. It's a cringy nickname. Other people like the nickname, so we'll just call him J.D. Vance for now. But he makes me cringe, and I hope he makes you cringe too. Did you see the appearance he made on Laura Ingraham last night, where he had the audacity to say that it is not normal? This is from J.D. Vance. He says it's not normal for women to be concerned about their reproductive rights. He says normal women are focused on other things. Here's what J.D. Vance said on Laura Ingraham. Play this clip.
Senator, one of my dear friends tonight said to me, well, all these suburban women, all they care about is abortion, and they don't understand that decision is with the states now. It's not banned nationally, even if some people want it to be banned nationally. It's with the states. What do you say to suburban women out there who are marinating in this propaganda?
Well, first of all, I don't buy that, Laura. I think most suburban women care about the normal things that most Americans care about.
Now, other audio has emerged of J.D. Vance from an interview in 2020, where J.D. Vance was on a podcast and was agreeing with a podcast host who says having grandmothers help raise children is the whole purpose of the post-menopausal female, he says. I'll just show you a short clip of that. Let's play it.
And you can sort of see the effect it has on him to be around them. Like, they spoil him. There's sort of all the classic stuff that grandparents do to grandchildren. But it makes him a much better human being to have exposure to his grandparents.
Well, I don't know.
And the evidence on this, by the way, is like super clear.
That's the whole purpose of the postmenopausal female in theory. Did your in-laws, and particularly your mother-in-law, show up in some huge way?
She lived with us for a year. Right. So, so
I didn't know the answer to that.
Right. No,
because that's this weird unadvertised feature of marrying an Indian woman.
No, it's in some ways the most transgressive thing I've ever done against sort of the hyper neoliberal approach to work and family. My wife had this baby 7 weeks before she started the clerkship. It was still not sleeping any more than an hour and a half in a given interval. And her mom just took a sabbatical. She's a biology professor in California. Just took a sabbatical for a year and came and lived with us and took care of our kid for a year.
Okay.
So it was just one of these things where it's like, this is what you do.
So a biology professor, PhD.
Yes.
Drops what they're doing.
Yeah.
To immediately tend to the needs of a new mother with her infant.
Painfully economically inefficient.
Right? Can I just propose
why didn't she just keep her job, give us part of the wages to pay somebody else to do it, right? Because that is the thing that the hyper liberalized economics wants you to do. The economic logic of always prioritizing paid wage labor over other forms of contributing to a society is to me, it's actually a consequence of a sort of fundamental liberalism that is ultimately going to unwind and collapse upon itself. I think it's the abandonment of a sort of Aristotelian virtue politics for a hyper market oriented way of thinking about what's good and what's desirable. If people are paying for it and it contributes to GDP and it makes the economic consumption numbers rise, then it's good. And if it doesn't, it's bad. I think that entire sort of, to me, that's sort of the root of our political problem.
Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs and gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workout, sleep, and even stress management. That's why I love it. All you have to do is you breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll know what's going on in your metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs. Then Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements. You can also breathe into it before and after workouts and meals, so you know exactly what's going on in your body in real time. And Lumen will give you tips to keep you on top of your health game. Your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into fuel that keeps you going. Because your metabolism is at the center of everything your body does, optimal metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, etc. Lumen gives you recommendations to improve your metabolic health. It can also track your cycle as well as the onset of menopause and adjust your recommendations to keep your metabolism healthy through hormonal shifts, so you can keep up your energy and stave off cravings. Look, I love Lumen, and I know you will too. So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to Lumen, lumen.me/Meidas to get 15% off your Lumen. That is lumen.me/Meidas for 15% off your purchase. One more time, go to lumen.me/Meidas, lumen.me/Meidas, and get 15% off your purchase. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode. You know, as a great pollster, Lakshya Jain says, he goes, "This man, J.D. Vance, is a generational talent. He manages to take the most basic concepts. Grandparents helping to raise children can be a really nice thing, and he 4chans it up, means he turns it into the strangest, weirdest thing in the world and makes it the weirdest way possible." That's J.D. Vance for you. By the way, when J.D. Vance spoke in Michigan yesterday, he had a crowd of about a dozen or so people. You can kind of see the crowd there. And J.D. Vance believes that the average price of an automobile in the United States of America is $50,000 per year. Well, J.D. Vance, most Americans, I guess, aren't buying Lamborghinis the way you do, or I don't know, J.D. Vance, I'm sure you and Donald Trump also know the average price of a Jeffrey Epstein private jet that's on the market in the Epstein estate sale that Epstein would traffic women in, because apparently you and Donald Trump are now out there in Epstein's plane that he used to traffic women. You wrapped it in Trump 2024, but that's who you guys are. Here's J.D. Vance in Michigan. Play the clip.
Thanks to Kamala Harris' spending policies, the average new car costs nearly $50,000 a year.
Wow, big crowd, J.D. Vance. We could talk about the Quinnipiac poll in Pennsylvania that has Donald Trump up by 3. We could talk about the new Equus poll that shows Latino voters now support Vice President Kamala Harris by +19 over Donald Trump. That's up from +5 that President Biden had. We can talk about how Donald Trump's favorite betting site, the Polymarket site, now has Vice President Kamala Harris with her largest lead yet, 53% to 45%. We can talk about Donald Trump's disastrous speech in Asheville, North Carolina, before that teeny tiny little crowd, Donald. What, you couldn't fill the stadium, so you had to help your ego by filling the full room of 2,400 people in Asheville? Did that make you feel strong, Donald, and make you feel like a big guy, Donald? Here's Donald Trump. I'm going to show you a few clips right here. But this was a weird one. I didn't cover this one yesterday when I did my recap video of what went down. When Donald Trump says basically other countries, they need to pay for it if they want to influence America. Here, play this clip.
People want to take advantage of our country. They have to pay to take advantage of our country.
I'll just show you some of the other ones. Here is Donald Trump whining about Vice President Kamala Harris on the front cover of Time magazine. Play this clip.
And then they decided to get politically correct. We have to put her in. They put her in, and now they're putting her on the covers of Time magazine with an artist sketch. They don't use a picture. They don't use a picture. They use an artist sketch. I want to use that artist. I want to find that artist. I like him very much.
This whole, I'm going to play you more clip. I'll play you one more, but this was Donald Trump whining about Vice President Kamala Harris. Again, the whole thing is him whining. This was supposed to be a speech on the economy. And this is what he did. Play the clip.
Nearly 4 years, Kamala has crackled as the American economy has burned. What happened to her laugh? I haven't heard that laugh in about a week. That's why they keep her off the stage. That's why she's disappeared. That's the laugh of a crazy person. I will tell you, if you haven't known it, it's a crazy. She's crazy. They told her, don't laugh. Don't laugh. No, it's her. No, her laugh is career threatening. They said, don't laugh. She hasn't laughed. She doesn't laugh anymore. It's smart, but someday it's going to come out. That's the laugh of a person with some big problems. She says her plan is going to be.
All right, I'll show you. I want to show you this one more so you can see. He tried to talk about the economy for this one little. I want to give you the full context. Here's when he tried to talk about the economy. Here's what he said. Here, play this clip.
Now, this is a little bit different day because this isn't around. This is we're talking about a thing called the economy. They wanted to do a speech on the economy. A lot of people are very devastated by what's happened with inflation and all of the other things. So we're doing this as a intellectual speech. You're all intellectuals today. Today we're doing it, and we're doing it right now, and it's very important. They say,
yeah, many people right now were talking about how Donald Trump's meltdown. That's how they're calling it in Trump's campaign. That he's melting down. Many believe that he's about to fire his campaign managers, Chris LaCivita and Susan Wiles. We'll see if that happens. But that's Donald Trump for you. Oh yeah, one of the things that Donald Trump was talking about as well on his failing social media platform was that he does not sound like Daffy Duck. Donald Trump posted that it was a technological issue that existed with Elon, with just modern technology. As he said, it makes him sound like Daffy Duck. Trump wrote, "My conversation with Elon last night was heard by a record audience," is what he said yesterday, and was really something special, as Elon himself is very special, and I thank him for such a strong endorsement, as opposed to a regular endorsement, very strong endorsement. Unfortunately, because of the complexity of modern day equipment and cell phone technology, my voice was in certain areas somewhat different and strange. Therefore, we have put out an actual and perfect recording of the conversation. Enjoy. Another perfect phone call. As I've said before, one of the problems I've been running into lately with all this complex modern technology, I don't know if you've had this issue, is, when I've called some of my coworkers, I've reached out to them and I said, hey, we're working on some new videos, Salty. We're working on some things. And Salty says, Ben, you're sounding like Daffy Duck. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you sound like Daffy Duck. And I go, no, this complex modern technology that exists, it's making my voice talk just like Daffy Duck. That's the way the people who invent this technology, they have not figured this out yet. And your voice is Daffy Duck-like. I mean, people, go back to that ad that I showed you with Congressmember Eric Swalwell, okay? And it was pitch perfect spot. You wouldn't want this person near your family, yet alone they're telling us what we should do with our families. Mind your damn business. Stay away from our flag. Stay away from our Constitution. Stay away from our families, MAGA. Have you seen the new Meidas shirts? The Mind Your Own Damn Business shirts at store.MeidasTouch.com. We have some great Kamala gear there as well. Check it out, store.MeidasTouch.com. 100% union made, 100% made in the U.S. You're going to love that gear. It's selling out like crazy. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.